Turning 30 marks a shift in your life that goes beyond birthdays and celebrations. It is a moment when the body begins to quietly change in ways most people do not notice at first. You might start feeling your energy dip faster, recovery after workouts or long days seems slower, and weight begins to creep up in places that never used to be a problem. The foods and routines that kept you fit and full of energy in your 20s no longer deliver the same results, and the subtle transformations within your body begin to make themselves known. In this video, we will explore why these changes happen and what is actually going on inside your body after 30. You will learn how metabolism starts to slow down, how muscle and hormone levels shift, and how these shifts can quietly affect your energy, strength, and overall health over time. We will reveal the lesser known biological processes that begin in this decade, the silent ways your body signals that it is entering a new phase, and the adjustments you can make to maintain vitality and strength. Watching until the end will give you a clear understanding of how to work with these changes rather than against them, so you can feel healthier, stronger, and more energized than ever before. This is not just about aging, it is about understanding the powerful shifts that occur beneath the surface, shifts that most people overlook until they start to see visible effects on their bodies. Welcome to our channel, where we uncover the hidden truths of health and human performance. Make sure to subscribe so you can stay updated with insights that help you navigate these changes, take control of your health, and learn how to adapt your lifestyle to maintain strength, energy, and overall wellness well beyond your 30s. Most people believe that once you pass the age of 30, their body is simply getting older, and that aging alone is the reason things begin to feel different. They assume that their body is suddenly breaking down or falling apart, when in reality, this is far from the whole story. The truth is more subtle and far more interesting. What is really happening is that several biological systems in your body begin to shift gradually, in a way that almost no one notices at first. It is not that your body stops working, but rather that important processes begin to change speed or priority as you move into a new stage of adult life. Day after day, month after month, these shifts happen so quietly that most people never stop to realize they even started until the results begin showing up in the mirror, on the scale, in their energy, or in the way their clothes fit. These changes are not dramatic at the start, and that is exactly why so many people miss them. They are slow, almost silent adjustments occurring deep within your cells, your hormones, and the way your organs communicate with one another. Over time, these small shifts begin to influence major systems like metabolism, hormone balance, muscle mass, and your overall energy levels in ways that become much more obvious by your mid-30s. In your 20s, you may never have questioned why you could stay up late, eat without much thought, or bounce back quickly from a long day. But once your 30s arrive, many find that these things no longer feel quite the same. There is no sudden signal or alert from the body that announces this change. It simply unfolds in the background of your life. For many, this misunderstanding is the reason they feel confused or frustrated, because they think their body is betraying them, or that aging means inevitable decline, when in fact what is happening is more like a transition. It is a shift in priorities within your biology, where certain systems begin to operate differently, and these differences play with your metabolism, your muscles, your hormones, and your daily energy in ways you may not have expected. One of the first and most important of these changes involves muscle mass. Around the age of 30, the body begins a gradual process of muscle loss. This does not happen overnight or in a dramatic fashion, but it becomes steady and real as the years go by. Muscle is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the body, meaning it burns more calories at rest compared to other tissues like fat. When muscle begins to decline, even if it is slight at first, it can quietly change the way your body processes energy. If muscle is not actively maintained through resistance training or strength work, adults can lose a noticeable percentage of their muscle mass each decade after 30. The exact rate can vary from person to person, but the loss is clear and measurable. What this means in practical terms is that with less muscle, your body burns fewer calories throughout the day, even when you are doing nothing more than sitting, standing, or resting. Many people do not realize how significant this shift is until they find themselves gaining weight more easily than they used to, despite eating the same foods and staying at the same activity level they always have. They may wonder why shedding a few extra pounds feels like an uphill battle when before it seemed effortless. They may notice that their arms do not look as firm as they once did, that tasks requiring strength or endurance leave them feeling tired more quickly, or that workouts that used to feel smooth now feel harder. This is because muscle plays a crucial role not only in energy use but also in overall physical resilience. When muscle decreases, metabolism slowly slows down, which in turn affects weight management, strength, and overall vitality. These changes often go unnoticed in the early stages because the decline is gradual, and many people attribute the symptoms to stress, diet, or lifestyle rather than the underlying biological shifts taking place. Another major change that begins to unfold after 30 is the way your metabolism functions. Metabolism is the system that turns food into energy and determines how efficiently your body uses calories from the foods you eat. In your 20s, your metabolism tends to be more efficient, meaning your body quickly converts food into fuel, repairs tissues swiftly, and maintains a relatively high resting metabolic rate. After 30, however, this system begins to slow down just a bit. The cells in your body become slightly less efficient at producing energy, and your resting metabolic rate gradually declines as part of the natural biological process. This does not mean that your metabolism is broken or damaged, but it does mean that your body is burning fewer calories at rest than it did in your younger years. What people often fail to recognize is that this shift is not caused by eating too much or by being lazy. Instead, it is a normal part of how the body changes as it ages. As metabolism becomes less efficient, the same meals that kept your weight stable at 25 may begin to contribute to weight gain at 35. You might notice that after enjoying a favorite dish, your stomach feels fuller or your clothes feel tighter in a way they never did before, despite no change in your eating habits. This is your metabolism signaling that it no longer processes energy in the same way it once did. It is a subtle recalibration, not a sudden failure, and it is one of the reasons so many people struggle with weight or energy balance in their 30s, even though they have not changed their relationship with food. The body's ability to turn food into usable energy is shifting, and that means the way calories are stored, burned, and used for fuel is also evolving. Alongside these changes in metabolism, hormones begin to shift in your 30s in ways that impact almost every aspect of your physiology. Hormones are chemical messengers that travel through the bloodstream to communicate with different organs and tissues, controlling processes like energy levels, fat storage, muscle growth, mood, sleep, and even appetite. When hormone levels are balanced, the body operates smoothly, and many of the processes you take for granted feel effortless. In your 30s, however, key hormones begin to change gradually. For men, testosterone levels start to decline each year after 30. Testosterone plays a major role in muscle protein synthesis, energy, libido, and overall vitality. As these levels slowly drop, it becomes easier to lose muscle, harder to build strength, and more common to feel fatigue or decreased motivation. In women, estrogen and progesterone begin to shift in preparation for the later stages of reproductive life, long before menopause begins. These shifts can impact sleep patterns, fat distribution, and energy levels, and they may occur in ways that feel mysterious or unexpected. Growth hormone, which helps with tissue repair and recovery, also declines with age. When these hormonal changes interact with the shifts in metabolism and muscle mass, the result can be a noticeable change in how the body looks, feels, and performs. For example, many people begin noticing an increase in belly fat in their 30s, even if their diet and activity levels have stayed consistent. This is not a simple matter of willpower or poor choices, but rather a reflection of how hormonal communication within the body is evolving. These slow changes in hormone levels affect the way your body decides to store fat, how quickly it repairs muscle after activity, and how rested you feel after sleep. You may find that workouts do not produce the same results they once did, that stress feels harder to manage, or that your mood fluctuates in ways that feel unfamiliar. This interplay between muscle loss, metabolic slowdown, and hormonal shifts is what creates many of the experiences people commonly attribute to aging. But these experiences are not proof of decline. They are indicators of biological transition. You might wake up one morning and feel that you need more sleep than usual to feel refreshed, or notice that a weekend of missed workouts leaves you feeling less energetic than it would have in your 20s. Perhaps you look in the mirror and wonder why the numbers on the scale have crept upward, or why your jeans feel tighter around the waist despite the same routine you have always followed. These changes are not random or unexplained. They are connected to the way your body is adjusting its internal systems to match the new phase of adult life you have entered. None of these systems are broken, but they are operating differently than they once did. And this difference is what causes the familiar signs people notice in their 30s. More than anything, these changes underline the importance of awareness and adaptation. When you understand the biological shifts happening inside you, it becomes clear that your body is not rebelling against you. It is simply responding to a new set of internal conditions and priorities. As muscle declines, metabolism adjusts, and hormones shift, the outside effects begin to show. And while these effects can feel frustrating or surprising, they are part of a natural progression that every adult experiences to some degree. By recognizing the connections between muscle, metabolism, hormones, and energy, you begin to see the bigger picture of why your body feels different after 30, and how the biological systems working behind the scenes are influencing what you feel on the inside and see on the outside. In your 20s, your body seems almost magical in its ability to bounce back quickly from almost anything you throw at it. If you pushed yourself hard at the gym, a good night's sleep was often all it took to wake up ready to go again the next day. If you caught a cold or had a minor injury, healing happened fast and often with little thought or effort. But once you move into your 30s, something begins to change, and it can be subtle at first. The very processes that used to repair your cells and tissues with ease start to slow down. This doesn't mean your body is failing or breaking, it just operates differently now. Recovery, whether from physical exertion, illness, or even the everyday stresses of life, begins to take longer. After a heavy workout session, your muscles that once repaired overnight now feel sore for days, and that lingering stiffness seems to hang around longer than it used to. Inflammation, which is your body's natural response to stress or damage, also begins to persist for a longer period. What used to be a quick response now remains active just a bit more, and your body feels it. That lingering fatigue that some people notice is not a lack of effort, but rather a real shift in the way cellular repair is managed. You might find yourself saying that you need more rest than before, that your sleep just doesn't feel as refreshing, or that even on days off you still feel tired. These changes may feel frustrating or surprising, especially if you have not connected them to the underlying biological shifts at play, but they are part of the natural adjustment your body makes as it enters this new decade. While the changes in recovery speed are rooted in biology, the story does not stop there. Life itself also changes in your 30s, and these changes add a layer of complexity that can make the effects feel even stronger. In your 20s, responsibilities may have been lighter or more flexible. You might have had more time to exercise regularly, more energy to recover quickly, and fewer demands pulling you in different directions. But as you enter your 30s, the pace of life often increases. Careers begin to deepen with greater responsibility, and the expectations at work can take up more of your mental and physical energy. Stress levels rise as you juggle deadlines, meetings, and long hours, and this heightened stress places additional demands on your body. At the same time, personal life pressures may also grow. Relationships, family responsibilities, and the various demands of everyday adult life require time, focus, and energy. Sleep, which is one of the most powerful tools the body has for recovery, often becomes shorter and less restful. Between work, family, and social obligations, many people find themselves sacrificing sleep without even realizing the true impact it has on their body's ability to repair and regenerate. Physical activity, which previously may have been consistent, starts to decrease, not because people want to give up, but because time feels limited and priorities shift. When exercise becomes less frequent or intense, the body receives fewer signals to maintain muscle strength, cardiovascular health, and cellular resilience. The combination of biological shifts and these lifestyle pressures does not just add up, it accelerates the impact, making the transformations you experience in your 30s feel more dramatic than they actually are. For those experiencing these changes, it is easy to interpret them as a sign that your body is failing or declining. But there is an important truth that many people overlook. These changes are not permanent damage, and they are not a signal that your best years of health are behind you. Instead, they are signals, messages from your body indicating that your internal systems are operating differently, and that your approach to health needs to adjust with them. The habits that worked so well in your 20s are no longer enough because your body's priorities and efficiencies have shifted. But even as these shifts occur, your body remains incredibly adaptable. It is capable of maintaining strength, energy, and robust health for many decades beyond 30, provided that you respond to its signals with the right strategies. The rules have changed, but your potential for vitality has not disappeared. With adjustments in how you move, how you rest, how you nourish yourself, and how you manage stress, you can support your body through this transition and maintain a high level of performance. This means embracing habits that match the needs of your changing biology rather than clinging to routines that no longer align with how your body is operating. You might find that focusing on recovery becomes just as important as exercise, that prioritizing sleep becomes a strategic choice rather than a luxury, and that balancing stress becomes central to your well-being rather than something to think about later. When you align your habits with the evolving needs of your body, you create a foundation for long-term health that is sustainable, empowering, and fulfilling. As your body settles into this new phase, it becomes clear that aging is not a decline but a transformation. The way you nourish your cells, the way you support your immune system, the way you allow your muscles to rest and repair, all of these factors take on greater importance. Your resilience, which once felt effortless, now requires intention and care. But this does not mean your body is weaker. It means your approach to health must become more thoughtful and more aligned with evidence rather than assumption. Sleep, for example, becomes a powerful ally in recovery. When you give your body the rest it genuinely needs, you support the pathways that produce hormones, repair tissues, and regulate energy. Movement, when done consistently and intelligently, signals your muscles and nervous system to maintain strength and integrity. Nutrition, when balanced with attention to quality and timing, provides your body with the raw materials it needs to fuel cellular repair and sustain energy throughout the day. And stress management, through methods like mindful breathing, intentional breaks, or restorative practices, helps keep the internal chemical signals in balance so that your body can focus on healing rather than constant defense. All of these shifts in approach may feel like adjustments, but they are not burdensome changes. In fact, once you understand why they matter and how they directly impact the way your body feels and performs, they become empowering tools rather than tasks to check off a list. The transition into your 30s is not a decline into frailty or loss. It is an evolution into a version of your body that asks for more support in some areas, more awareness in others, and more intentional care overall. Understanding that these changes are signals rather than symptoms of decline opens a new perspective. It helps you stop fighting the clock and instead work with your biology to maintain strength and well-being. The body's repair mechanisms may operate at a different pace than they did in your 20s, but they are still active, responsive, and capable of remarkable resilience when supported correctly. The lifestyle pressures of work, stress, sleep, and activity do not have to erode your health when you learn how to balance them with intentional choices that support your internal systems. The adaptation of your habits, the awareness of your body's needs, and the willingness to adjust your lifestyle all contribute to a foundation of wellness that can continue through your 40s, 50s, and beyond. The evolution of your body after 30 is not a story of loss, but a new chapter in which awareness, adaptation, and strategic care allow you to thrive. The changes you feel are not barriers, but invitations to strengthen your relationship with your body and help it operate in harmony with the natural shifts that occur with age. Your body is still capable, still resilient, and still able to perform with strength and energy when given the right support. Every adjustment you make is a step toward maintaining health, vitality, and a deeply rooted sense of well-being in this new decade and the ones that follow. Understanding these shifts lets you stop battling your body and start working with it, turning what once felt like obstacles into opportunities for growth, strength, and long-lasting health. If this video gave you a clear picture of what is happening inside your body after 30 and why things feel different than before, make sure to hit the like button to show your support. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more simple health truths that can help you stay strong, energized, and in control of your health, no matter your age. Share this video with someone who often wonders why their body is changing or feels different, because understanding these small shifts can make the biggest difference in how we care for ourselves. Your body is sending signals, and learning to listen is the first step to thriving after 30.